It is finally week 1, and we are going to go through the full slate on Sunday, giving you the top plays from quarterback, running back, wide receiver, and tight end. There's some big price discrepancies on some of these guys. We're going to take advantage of it. Let's get into it. Hey, yo! Welcome back to the channel. It's your boy Chef D, and I'm here to give you the winning ingredients for your week 1 Draftkings full slate breakdown, giving you the top plays from quarterback, running back, wide receiver, and tight end. All right, but before I deep dive into that, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to the channel. Make sure you follow me on Instagram and Twitter at MetsNetsJetsD. Don't forget about the TikTok at Chef_D91, and don't forget about the Patreon if you want more DFS, betting, and fantasy football advice. All of those links will be down below. One of my bets of yesterday was the Buffalo Bills, and I put the under 52. Both of those hit. So make sure, guys, you gotta sign up for the Patreon, all right? Gotta sign up for the Patreon, especially for the football picks. This is the bread and butter. Put a lot of time and effort in this, and I'm going to give you the safe parlays, and I'll give you a crazy parlay for Sunday, all right? All those is going to be in the Patreon. The link is down below. Don't miss out, all right? You already missed out on the Bills. Now, we are going to start off this DraftKings slate with the quarterback position, all right? Now, going into this is week 1. This is a new season. A lot of things we cannot bring over to this year, all right? I can look at last year's stats for, as you can see right here, fantasy football points allowed to tight ends, quarterbacks, wide receivers, running backs. It's all there, but you got to take that with a grain of salt, okay? Those are last year's stats. Defenses change every single year. Just like bullpens in baseball change every single year, if you want to have an analogy for it. So we're going to look at some of these matchups, obviously take the talent of these quarterbacks that we have right here, and we're going to apply it to our lineup. So game scripts that I think that are going to be in high scoring affairs, obviously you have to factor in weather. So a game like the Browns versus the Panthers, that's going to be rainy. That might lean more into the running game. CMC might be more utilized in that type of environment. We want to stay away from that one if we're looking at quarterbacks, all right? So an environment that we should stack on and really consider. Number 1 is going to be that Green Bay-Minnesota game right here. Minnesota did not improve on their defense, obviously, and Kirk Cousins is stepping into a new offensive regime with Kevin O'Connell. So they're going to throw more. So I love Kirk Cousins this week. I also love Aaron Rodgers. But the problem with Aaron Rodgers at 7,000 is we don't know who to stack him with, all right? That's going to be a big question mark, all right? So Kirk Cousins, I love. We can easily stack him with Justin Jefferson as a definite that we should focus on. If we're looking at Aaron Rodgers, he's 7,000. But we might have to use some other guys to pair him with, all right? We might just have to go with some high upside. If we're choosing a wide receiver from the Packers, I'll get that to a little bit later, all right? Let's go through more of the quarterbacks. So we already got Cousins. We already have Aaron Rodgers. Another game where I like both the quarterbacks in that. We have 2 more, whereas both quarterbacks are really in great environments. That's going to be the Raiders versus the Chargers. Is another game. We both want Justin Herbert right here, 7,600 on the top tier. And then more of a cheaper version will be Derek Carr. Derek Carr had a career year last year in passing yards, and now he's getting an upgrade at the receiver position with Devonta Adams. Darren Waller is going to be fully healthy for this game, and Hunter Renfrow. So they got a nice trio right there to combat the high-powered Los Angeles Chargers. And obviously Justin Herbert at 7,600 is an absolute stud, all right? This game is going to have a ton of points. It's going to be very back and forth. Definitely see a floor of 20, but the ceiling could be super high for both of these guys in that game. Another game we want to consider for quarterbacks that I like both sides will be the KC Arizona. So I can already see in this slate, 1 o'clock guys, you might want to focus more on the running back position, but that late slate at 4 p.m. have some gems, all right? I already spoke about Green Bay, Minnesota. We have Las Vegas and the Chargers. That's going to be great late. And then KC versus Arizona. There's definitely a nice funnel here for Arizona. We have a little bit of question marks on the KC side because there's no more Tyreek Hill. So Patrick Mahomes obviously is going to throw the Travis Kelce, but who steps up as the number 2? Could it be Juju, Marvis Valdez, Scantling? Those two are going to start out on 2 wide receiver sets. They also have some other guys behind them. If we're going to Kyler Murray, a little bit cheaper at $7,200. I like him. He gives you the Konami code. He can throw and he can rush. All right. But the great thing about Kyler Murray, there's injuries. All right. So there's DeAndre Hopkins, who's going to be out the first 6 games. We have a question mark on Zach Ertz. So it's really lining up for one of my favorite plays at wide receiver, and that would be Marquise Brown. All right. So at that quarterback position, we're going to key on Patrick Mahomes, Kyler Murray, Derek Carr, Justin Herbert, Aaron Rodgers, Kirk Cousins. All right. You should build your lineups around those type of quarterbacks in that type of environment. If we're punting the quarterback position, some guys I do want to key in on would be Trey Lance. Here at this salary of $6,000, he's going up against the Chicago Bears, but it doesn't matter because he has that upside rushing where he's probably going to see 6, 7, 8 rushes. Probably is going to have an opportunity in the red zone to put up some big points. While he was starting last year, he has big games against Houston, 20 fantasy points, a nice game against Seattle and 20.38. So when he gets the opportunity, he's going to put up fantasy points. I really like Trey Lance for week 1, going up against the Chicago Bears, who really lost a lot on their defensive side of the ball. So another punt play that we're going to look at will be Trevor Lawrence. All right, so I gave you the expensive guys and the stacks we should key in on. Now the value guys is going to be Trey Lance, Trevor Lawrence, and I have one more. See, Trevor Lawrence right here. We get a new restart, a fresh restart with Doug Peterson as his coach, and obviously he's going to be running the offense. They're going to run a lot of the run option for this offense, so they're very comfortable and familiar with that with Trevor Lawrence and Travis Etienne. The addition of Christian Kirk, so they got a nice little 1-2 punch right there in the backfield to help Trevor Lawrence. He has so much upside. Let him get focused on a well-oiled offensive machine like Doug Peterson, former champion. Right there, so he knows what he's doing, and you get a cheap quarterback that has upside that can throw and pass at $5,600. All right, and if you really want to punt, Flacco at $4,800. Obviously, this is a game script where a lot of people think the Baltimore Ravens are going to be up. I understand that. And Joe Flacco is going to have to throw, all right? The offensive line is top 15 in the league. It's going to give him time. And the weapons that the New York Jets have acquired is going to allow Joe Flacco to spread the ball around, all right? Obviously, he loves Elijah Moore, all right? So Elijah Moore is going to be a great play. I'll talk about that a little bit later. We have Braxton Berrios, we have Corey Davis, and we have the rookie Garrett Wilson. So there's a ton of talent on the field, not to mention that we got CJ Uzomah and Tyler Conklin. So definitely enough firepower to compete with the Baltimore Ravens. Flacco at a very cheap price can keep up momentum, all right? He did it last year against Miami, as you can see, 18.9 fantasy points, and that was at $4,600 salary. They only bumped him up $200. If he gives you 18 to 20 points at that quarterback position, that is going to be a steal, so you can spin up at other positions, all right? Now, let's move over to that running back position, and obviously all these top-tier guys are in great environments. So I'm really looking at the 1 o'clock games, focusing on running backs. So we got Derrick Henry in a decent spot. The Giants were very sneaky last year in run stuffing, so that's going to be an intriguing matchup there at $8,600. Jonathan Taylor, obviously against Houston, he tends to have a great day against them. He had 28 fantasy points, and he had 31 last year against this team, okay? They improved Offensively, with more talent. Defensively, they added secondary help, but Jonathan Taylor should still have a field day going up against the Houston Texans. Christian McCaffrey might be a little bit lesser owned. He's in a game environment. Game environment is going to be really nasty conditions. And it's going to probably lean more to the running game. So a couple check down passes, McCaffrey goes his way. Him on one-on-one situations going up against a defender in bad conditions can easily lean towards the offensive player, right? We got these rainy and muddy games here. It leans more to the offense, all right? The defender does not know which way you're going to go. And once you make your cut, they're going to slip and fall. And boom, you have a big opportunity. So McCaffrey can be super sneaky, all right? Super sneaky. I see the little, it's not even an injury. He got cut on his shin by a cleat from his teammate during practice. He should be totally fine. Christian McCaffrey is going to be a sneaky play at 8,500, and he has a ton of upside in a game environment that's going to lean towards that running, all right? Austin Eckler is in a great environment against the Las Vegas Raiders. I'm liking him at 8,200. There's no backup. Obviously, they tried Isaiah Spiller. It's going to take time for him, and they might even not even like the fact that they even drafted him because he has not stepped up in preseason. So we're going to see how this season goes. But right now, Austin Eckler is pretty secure. Dalvin Cook usually has a decent day against Green Bay. He's at a nice price of 7,900. Alvin Kamara at 7,600. As long as that video doesn't come out, all right? Once that video comes out, it is over for Alvin Kamara, all right? I'm telling you right now. So you play him while he is available, but that video is going to come out during the season, all right? The prosecutor on the other side that's representing the guy Alvin Kamara beat up is Tony Busby or Bisbee, whatever his freaking name is. That's the same representative of all the women Deshaun Watson did what he had to do with them, all right? So it's the same guy coming back at the NFL, and obviously he's going to target Alvin Kamara. So that video will be out very soon, so we need to take advantage of Alvin Kamara before he's gone. All right, he's at a good price. Swift is in a tough matchup against Philly. Hopefully he has some receiving upside. Let's see if we can find some more gems cheaper. Saquon Barkley against Tennessee. Tennessee has lost a lot on that defensive side of the ball. Harold Landry is a big loss as well. And you're getting a running back that's going to get 80 to 90% usage. Saquon Barkley is crazy mispriced, so we'll throw him in there. He should be someone we key in on at that price of 6,100. I think that's criminal. Antonio Gibson against the Jacksonville Jaguars. Okay, as much as you don't like it, he is the number one. Brian Robinson unfortunately got shot in the leg and somewhere else on his body, but he's going to be out a while, all right? You just don't get shot and come back the next week. He's going to be out at least probably half the season. They're telling you 4 weeks. That's not true. The man came back in crutch. It's going to take time, all right? So Antonio Gibson is the number one running back for this offense in a good matchup against Jacksonville. Remember, this is a guy that had over 1,000 yards, 10 touchdowns, and 40 catches, all right? You're getting him at below 6K. You're sleeping, guys. You are sleeping. He is the number one running back in this offense. All right, let's see if we find some other cheap guys as we go down below. ETN, like I said, they're going to run that run option with the Jacksonville Jaguars and Doug Peterson. He's going to have high upside as a receiving back in this offense. Do not worry about James Robinson because he has that Achilles injury, all right? That's the death of running backs when you have the Achilles. We saw what Cam Akers did last night, right? 3 carries, 0 yards, all right? 3 carries, 0 yards. That's an Achilles injury. Thank you, Cam Akers. We're gonna continue to go down. CEH is in a good environment going against Arizona. This is the first and second down back. He is also getting red zone work, all right? Just because he had a bad year, that last year was because of that gallbladder situation. He had lost, 40 pounds? He had to get back up to regular running back weight, all right? It took time for Clyde Edwards-Helaire. That's why he was bad last year. He wasn't even at the correct weight. Now he's fully healthy. He's going to be that first and second down back for the Kansas City Chiefs. Here's one I'm going to throw in here at the flex. Eli Mitchell is in a great spot against Chicago. All right, this is another gem that's mispriced. So all the mispriced people I'm gonna put in the lineup. This is another one right here. Eli Mitchell at 5,400 going up against the Chicago Bears. Akeem Hicks is gone. He is with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, and that was the only guy you would fear on that Chicago Bears defensive line to stop the run. He's getting full work as long as he's healthy, which he is. He's cleared. He's not on the injury report. Eli Mitchell's the starter. He's going to get all the work. Okay, so definitely like him. He's a great play. If you want to save some salary, you already paid up for one running back. You can definitely fill in that second spot with Eli Mitchell. So we'll throw him in there. Let's see if I can find a few more guys down below. AJ Dillon's in a decent spot. And here's one that everyone's going to love. Here's one that everyone's going to love right here. Dameon Pierce. Are you willing to take this shot? He's at a crazy price, below 5,000, 4,800. The preseason running back darling. All right, here. This is definitely going to be a sneaky play as your RB2 option. You usually want to tend to use your flex for a wide receiver. They have more upside. But hey, these are players. They all have the type of talent that can go off. So Dameon Pierce is going to be very sneaky at 4,800. I like him. Let's move over to the wide receivers. All right, wide receivers. Let's start at the top. The guys we really, really love. I told you to stack that game, Green Bay and Minnesota. Justin Jefferson is coming in. He's going to get Cooper Kupp usage. We saw what Cooper Kupp did last night. He's the same old Cooper Kupp. Even though we got question marks with Matt Stafford, that offense is going to be instilled in the Minnesota Vikings, and now you have Justin Jefferson. Justin Jefferson is going to have a field day. I want to lock him in. I definitely want to take advantage of this price before he gets to 9,000. You need to play Justin Jefferson in every single lineup. I don't care if it's against the Green Bay Packers. I really don't care. Justin Jefferson is that next level elite wide receiver, and we already know it, all right? So definitely love him at 7,800. Take advantage of that. Someone else I want to focus in on. Jamar Chase is in the division game. That's going to be tough. I'm a little bit down on Deebo Samuel as well because he's going to be losing some of those carries, all right? Jimmy Garoppolo's not the quarterback. Trey Lance is the quarterback. Those carries and those 6 touchdowns he got rushing, that's Trey Lance, all right? So simmer down on Deebo. I'll go to someone a little bit cheaper on that 49ers side of the ball. But next is going to be Mike Williams. Mike Williams in that game against the Chargers and the Raiders. High-scoring affair. He's going to be the alpha in this offense. I know a lot of people like Keenan Allen, but Keenan Allen is old, and they just gave the huge money back to Mike Williams, all right? Mike Williams is the guy. You need to get that instilled in your head. He's going to go over 1,000 yards this year and 10 TDs, all right? He did it. He did it in his first 2 seasons. He either had a 1,000-yard receiving year or he had 10 touchdowns. Then he put this performance together last year, which was remarkable, and now he's going to take it to a whole nother level. Love Mike Williams at 6,600. His price is too cheap, and that's definitely going to rise later in the season. All right, now my favorite play at wide receiver, I told you, there's going to be a funnel for the Arizona offense. KC has a lot of question marks in that secondary. They lost Sorensen. They lost Tyrann Mathieu. And they're starting a lot of young youth. There's going to be one big play that they're going to give up, and it's going to go to Marquise Brown. There's no other competition on that Arizona offense. Marquise Brown is the alpha. He has the shower narrative with Kyler Murray. This is going to be a lock right here. So basically, I'm going to probably start all my lineups with Jefferson and Marquise Brown pretty much. But Brown is a definite. Take full advantage of it as long as we have Ertz in the big question mark and the fact that DeAndre Hopkins is going to be out for the next 6 weeks. Let's see if we can find some other wide receivers that are very down low down here. DJ Moore might. God, this is a tough game because of that weather factor, but definitely I will consider DJ Moore. He's going to get a high volume with Baker Mayfield throwing him the football. I imagine him having a decent day. All right, he'll work in that short and intermediate game for that game against the Cleveland Browns. Next up, Hunter Renfrow is working under underneath. He should have a nice day with a lot of focus on Darren Waller and Devonta Adams. Remember, this is a Josh McDaniels offense. Josh McDaniels loves slot wide receivers. He made Julian Edelman. He made Wes Welker. And now you have someone that is in that same ilk, and that is Hunter Renfrow at 5,800. Do not sleep on him. This is a very good play if we want to look towards him in that mid-range wide receiver. All right. So we'll take him out. I'm going to fit in one more wide receiver down here. Let's continue to go down. There's some gems down here at that wide receiver position if you're looking really, really low. Michael Pittman is way too cheap. Way too cheap. Why? Why is Michael Pittman that cheap? 5,500? This man was going in the second round and third round of drafts. He's 5,500. He is super mispriced. He's supposed to be 7,000 and above. He had 88 receptions, 1,000 yards last year, guys. And Matt Ryan loves to throw to his number one target. Michael Pittman is his number one target now. He's going to be in my flex right there. And I have one more guy for you. I have two more guys, actually. We have Elijah Moore here for the Jets. Him in the connection with Joe Flacco is something very, very real. And he is clearly the number one option on the New York Jets. Do not sleep on Elijah Moore at 5,100. These are great value picks to throw in your flex and starting wide receiver positions with high upside, all right? These are high talented wide receivers that are in great positions, all right? Game script that the Jets are going to be down, going to need to throw the ball. Elijah Moore will be that number one. And then last but not least, I have another cheap one, even cheaper, and he's the number one option on that offense. He's an ankle breaker supreme. He works great in open space as long as he stays healthy. This is the guy. He is healthy for week one, so we want to take full advantage. You should have Kadarius Toney in each and every one of your lineups, all right? That Tennessee defense has taken a big hit. Danny Dimes should have time to throw the ball, especially after losing Harold Landry for the Tennessee Titans. Kadarius Toney should eat against the Tennessee Titans. Definitely look at him at 4,100. That is going to be your punt wide receiver for week one. Let's go over to the tight ends and let's wrap this up. All right, next at the tight end, we're going to start at the top. I love these guys at the top. Mark Andrews is going up against the Jets. Jets usually struggle against tight ends. That is our weakest position, and that is against tight ends at 6,800. This is a great price right here. All right, he's going to get you 15 plus fantasy points. Obviously, this man is basically a wide receiver in this offense. Mark Andrews is an elite play for week one. Kelsey's going to get a lot of attention, but it's going to work either way, man. This man is still at a peak performance despite his age. We saw a crazy amount of yards last year. It's going to roll over, and he's the number one target. No more Tyreek Hill for the Kansas City Chiefs. Definitely try to fit in Travis Kelce in your lineups, okay? Let's continue to go down. We have Kyle Pitts. Kyle Pitts is in a good spot because, hey, Marcus Mariota, what does Marcus Mariota throw to? His tight ends, all right? Don't forget about Delaney Walker back in Tennessee. That was a great connection between Mariota and Delaney Walker. Now we're bringing it over to Atlanta. Now you have an elite talent, a Hall of Fame type talent and tight end at Kyle Pitts. They're going to take it to another level. I don't care that he had 1,000 yards. Guess what? He only had one touchdown. There's going to be progression in that touchdown department. I hate when people just say negative regression. That's a double negative. Never say negative regression. Okay? It's progression. Please stop saying that. Stop saying negative regression. That doesn't make sense. Say progression. Touchdown progression, all right? He had one last year. He's probably going to get 10 this year, all right? Kyle Pitts is in a supreme position for week one, all right? Darren Waller as well against the Chargers. That's another team that is bad against tight ends every year, year in and year out. Dallas Goedert is at a solid position at 4,500. The Philadelphia Eagles target that tight end position 30%. All right, 30%. That is way above league average. That Eagles offense tends to throw to the tight end position. No more Zach Ertz. Dallas Goedert is the number one option. They have a lot of help around Jalen Hurts now. So that's going to be definitely a solid option right there. Let's find some cheaper options down low. Austin Hooper is definitely someone we can look at as a punt position. The Giants struggle against tight ends. Both New York teams struggle against tight ends, and they don't really have a number one wide receiver. We got Robert Woods coming back from a torn ACL. The up and down circus with Treylon Burks. So Austin Hooper has been consistently out there on the practice field and building connection with Ryan Tannehill. I like Austin Hooper right there. So for this lineup, let me throw in Kyle Pitts because he fits. But let me continue going down low with the other punt tight ends that I have on my list. I have like two more. So we have Mo Alley Cox for. Let me throw it in. We have Mo Alley Cox here for the tight end position on the Indianapolis Colts. It's not really. Hold on, let me go to tight end. Mo Alley Cox is around the 3,000 range. Let me go find him real quick. All right, Mo Alley Cox right here at 3,400. He's going to be a punt option. He's the number one tight end now for the Indianapolis Colts. Matt Ryan and his tight ends. He definitely targets that as well. If you wanted to punt, I don't think you need to punt this week at that tight end position because at the top there is pretty solidified options. And then last but not least, I would go with Cole Kmet. As we saw in that last preseason game, he finally got in the end zone with Justin Fields throwing to him. Cole Kmet is going to have a solid year. Look at that, 60 receptions last year. That's a rare feat for a lot of tight ends, and he did it last year despite the fact of a struggling offense. So those are going to be guys we're going to key on for week one. Definitely focusing on games with the Chiefs, Arizona, focusing on the Raiders, Chargers, and focusing on that game with Minnesota and Green Bay. Those should be high scoring affairs. Let me know in that comment section down below if you have any other options or suggestions at either of these positions at QB, running back, wide receiver, and tight end. I appreciate you guys for tuning in. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. And don't forget to tune in to the next episode